Hey everybody, it is LSID932 on YouTube. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Glad to see you here. We're at a different time. Surprise, unless you have the notification on from the last time. Surprise, we're here quite early. Um, but I'm just off today and I said, I got to make time for my YouTube family. And I got to make time for unsolicited advice because people are asking the internet for all kinds of advice. And I'm glad y'all are here. And I'm glad I'm able to share this time with you today. And Debbie was here. Hey, Debbie, I hope you're still in the clouds with us. You were here a little bit earlier. Hey, April B, good afternoon. Uh, it is going to be a wonderful afternoon. Share this time with y'all. And we're going to get into the advice. Make sure you do like, you share, you subscribe, and leave a comment below. What is your unsolicited advice for each of these that we have? And also let me know if this is a good time. So on my days off, on the weekend, I try to do it at noon Eastern Standard Time. And now I'm trying to catch the after lunch for Eastern and the little bit lunchtime for the West Coast fam. So y'all just come on in and say hello to each other. And let's get into it. Let's get to our first request for unsolicited advice. And as you know, we start off mild and get a little bit spicier. Okay. And I think I may do a real spicy live one time where it's just spice after spice. But I don't know if we're ready for that yet. I don't know if we are ready for that quite yet, but we will get there. So let's go to the first one. Okay. The first one is my boyfriend is always busy. He's always busy. And it bothers me. They're both 24. So I have been dating my boyfriend for more than 5 years now. He has a full-time job. He plays volleyball 2-3 times a week. He makes sure that his work schedule does not conflict with his sports. And when he's not doing that, he'll be gaming or hanging out with his friends. I barely get to spend any time with him. And if I do, it will only be a couple of hours after work when he is tired and doesn't want to do anything. He barely plans anything with me. We barely get to spend a whole day together. He does not make time for me. We only hang out when he doesn't have plans. I don't feel like I'm important or prioritized by him. I have tried to talk to him about this many times. It always ends with an argument and nothing changes. I'm currently so confused with my thoughts, and I'm not sure if I'm just being unreasonable, that he is busy, or is this a red flag to think about? What do y'all think? She's like, he just too busy. His calendar, he is booked and busy. His calendar is full. He don't have time for this young lady. They're 24, y'all. So he trying to manage work. He trying to manage his volleyball playing. He's in the sports. Now, what she did not say is this like a junior league? Is this just regular volleyball, or is he in a league? Because if he's in a league, we know how important that is. But we can't begrudge him. He's getting his exercise. He is going to work. We've had many instances where folks ain't going to work. So what do you tell her? He's not making time. He's not planning anything. How do we solve this? Okay. My unsolicited advice is, you've been talking. How long have you been talking? That's another question. How long have we been asking him for time? Because if it's been months, then I got to pack up and go. You'll be worried about where I'm spending my time rather than you come looking for me rather than me looking for you. Okay? Munira said she's not his girlfriend. If he likes her, he would make time for her. Totally agree with you on that. Whether she's definitely not the priority. The priority is work and volleyball. So after that, I don't even know if she's a distant third. Okay. I don't even know if she's a distant third. So I don't think he wants to have a relationship with you, young lady. I really don't. Because he would make the time. Maybe you can, see how you can finagle time within there. Okay. He doesn't want to do anything. Is it that you want to do so much while he wants to just relax? Maybe you need to spend time and get a hobby, or, hang out with your girls. I know you want time with him, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Sometimes, your significant other is working working hard, but he doesn't seem to be playing hard unless it's on the volleyball court. Debbie says she will need to get his schedule and plan something together times when he has a minute. Munira said she is not third place either. The friends are before her. Munira caught it. Munira is listening. The friends are definitely more important than she is. He makes time for them. But yes, I agree with Debbie. Find out his calendar, schedule something, plan something at home. He didn't want to do much. Plan not too much at home and see how he reacts. But if you can't spend time together, he don't want to be with you, young lady. If he don't want to spend time, then he don't want to really be with you. Hey, Just Rhonda, welcome on in. If he's going to work, he playing volleyball 3 or 4 times for the week, he hanging out with his friends, he don't have time for you. You are definitely, as the chat said, you ain't his girl. You ain't even third place because he's spending time with his friends, and the only time you spend with him is when you want to be home doing nothing. Okay? I don't think you're a priority. I don't think he wants to be with you, because then he would definitely spend time with you. Are you going to the volleyball games? Okay. Is this league, or is this just we teeter in and have a hobby? Because if you're there, maybe on the cheerleading squad. Okay. Create one. But it doesn't seem like he wants to spend any time with you at all. Everything else is above you. All I got to say. All I got to say is that. So what is your unsolicited advice for this young lady? This is our first for today. She just like, I need some time, and he ain't slicing up the time to spend with her. Mm-mm-mm. So let's go to the next one. The next one is, how long do I give my boyfriend for him to get a divorce? How long do I give? This is 25-year-old female. She has a 35-year-old male boyfriend. So how long do I give him to start his divorce paperwork? My 36-year-old male boyfriend has been separated from his 39-year-old wife for about 7 months now. I, 25-year-old female, have been living with him most of this time, but recently moved in around March. It's been a little sticky, and I want to give him his space to deal with it himself. But I really want to start thinking about my future and kids. I don't want kids right now, but I'd like to start thinking about settling down. I was thinking, if the paperwork hasn't been started by December or January, I would decide to move out when March rolls around again. Is this fair? Is this fair? Now, okay. See, Trey's talking about our previous story. He may think she's boring. Okay. So, yeah, this young lady is giving, she's 35, she's 25, he's 35, and she's giving him time to start his divorce papers. It's been 7 months they've been together, and he's been separated from his wife. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. How long should you give him to start the paperwork for the divorce? Y'all know the last time we talked about this, I made my position clear. Talk to me when the divorce is final. When that judge signs, notarizes, and dockets that, then you come to me. Hey, Unfiltered Doll, glad to have you here. And Kimmy Who also walks in. Hey. And Moon Dust Angel, glad to have you here. Rhonda said husbands are boyfriends. It seems like this husband is a boyfriend for past 7 months to this young lady, okay? Trey said 5 more months, gotta wait that full year for some states. Okay, Trey is bringing in the legalities of it all. He may have to wait a whole year for separation before he can actually file for the divorce. So maybe in your state, young lady, you have to figure out, is he stalling or is the law stalling him from the paperwork? But whether the law is stalling him or not, I say don't get involved with him until after everything is finished. So Rhonda's clearing up. Husbands are not boyfriends. Okay. The paperwork should already be started. It should. It should. If we are in a state that does not stop the whole separation and divorce thing, it should already be started. Now, here's the question. Is this a legal separation? Because if we're going to follow what Trey Mack said, then we need to have docketed legal separation. Because if we haven't had it docketed, we don't have a timeline in which to begin this full year. So again, young lady, there are questions you need to ask based on your state, based on the documentation. How will you know if he even started it if you don't see the legal paperwork? Moondust Angel is saying, why are we with a guy who is still married anyway? I just can't trust that, especially when he's not been separated from his wife for more than a year. How can we be sure he doesn't still have feelings? Exactly. How can we be sure he ain't going to tack back? He may spin the block and decide to reconcile with his wife. Kimmy Who said you should never have moved in together. Just gives him another excuse to put you off. Exactly. He is just enjoying services while his wife is I wonder if they're raising children. I need to know if they had children together, because they're in their 30s and this young lady is 25. Again, we 10 years difference. Just Rhonda said she's planning a family with somebody's husband that she's been living with for the past 7 months, and she's leaving it for him to deal with, which is a good thing. But young lady, what you need to deal with is the fact that you are cohabitating with somebody else's husband. Whether they separated or not, that is legally that woman's husband you're living with. Okay? That is legally somebody's husband. Hey, Felicia H., glad to have you here. That is somebody's husband. Okay? So, Munira, we have a question. Moondust Angel wants to know, where are you from? Gorgeous name. Yes, Munira has a wonderful name. So yes, y'all. So she wants to know how long to give until the divorce. She practically living with him and moved in 7 months. And he hasn't filled the divorce. If we believe Trey Mack, he has to wait a year. He has to wait 3 more months before he can legally file for divorce if he's in one of those states. So you have some homework, young lady. But we all agree you should not be dating, living with, cohabitating, whatever you're doing with somebody else's husband, separated or not. Come find me after your divorce is docketed, signed, notarized, and filed with the court. I'm sorry, I don't hold any punches with that. Come back after it is all over, because 8 months in, 10 months in, he could say, you know what, it's cheaper to keep her. I may go back to my wife. Okay? She has a long wait. Debbie said, yeah, because if you got to wait a year for the separation and then you got to wait for the divorce to be final, some states take a long time. Some states, is after you wait the year, 45 days later, your divorce is final. But some states, that is not the case. And she needs to figure that out. So y'all, what else do you have? What other unsolicited advice you have for this lady? Moondust Angel said, I was married before and separated 3 years before I started dating someone else. I'm now divorced and happily with someone else, but I made sure I was fully done before dating. We weren't even living together. Exactly. Don't need to be living with anybody. But you see, I blame it on youth too. She's 25. He's 35. He probably seems like he got his act together. He clearly can sustain 2 households, because I'm sure he's still paying the bills at the wife's house while he's paying the bills where she is shacking up with him. So I'm sure that financially he ain't hurting. And that's why she's kind of probably like, should I really give up on him? Should I stay in this? But yes, girl, you should not be in this. Not at all. Because technically, based on certain states, she can say that, it's adultery at this point, that he is cheating on her even during the separation. And that could really hurt his divorce case. And that's why it's a good thing that I did not put names or the information for this advice. Could he have emotionally manipulated someone that young? Maybe she thought he was telling the truth and he was not. Exactly. That's why she has homework to do, Moondust Angel. She has homework. She has to go and see if this state requires 1 year. And if it doesn't, they got to have a tough conversation. And she's got to stand on business that if you don't start the divorce now, then I got to go. Because even, hey, some people, some states, it takes years for the divorce to actually be final. So she got some homework to know what her state does and follow suit. So let's get to the next one. As I said, we get spicier and spicier as we go along. Okay? Spicier and spicier. So this young lady is talking about the fact that 28-year-old female found girly shower products in the boyfriend's bathroom. And the boyfriend is 31. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years. I've stayed at his house for the weekend and I went to take a shower. I use, feminine smelling body wash and things in there were not mine. I was there last weekend and they were not in the shower. I also noticed my own face wash was moved out of the normal spot that I keep it in. He doesn't wash his face with my products, and I know all the products he uses as well. I asked him about it, and he said he doesn't know. He hasn't taken a shower today. My boyfriend does have a roommate that is a girl, but she never uses this downstairs, his bathroom, unless it's for the toilet for some reason. She never showered in there once the whole time we've been together. Okay, remember they're together for 2 years. He has tried to suggest maybe one of our other friends left their products when his roommate said the friends got back from Thailand last weekend. It wasn't there last week, so I know it appeared sometime while I was home. He got upset at me and asked if I really believe he had a girl over while I was at home. He wants me to ask his friend and roommate about it. There are other factors to add, like, like how he stopped being affectionate with me over the past couple months and has been less attentive. How do I go about this conversation without starting an argument? How do we not start an argument? Okay. So y'all, how do we not start an argument? So she's saying last week these girly products were not in the bathroom. This week they are. Okay? They're not her products. And it probably ain't the roommate's products either. He has a young lady roommate. Now, I don't have a problem with that. That is to be determined if this is truly a roommate or a roommate with benefits. I don't know the situation. I have questions. Okay? I have questions. But if it's from one weekend to the next and somebody was there during the week, whose products are there? And they move yours out of the way. And who's leaving their products? Because I'm sorry, if I'm going, we go out sometimes, some of us, we go to our friend's house, we're getting ready for a weekend or going out for the evening and we're at our friend's house. I'm not leaving my products there. I'm sorry. I'm not leaving my products. It sounds like somebody is, I hate to say it, marking their territory. It seems like somebody is marking their territory and leaving their products there just so you can find them. When the angel says, I guess she could say she's curious to learn where the products came from and can ask the roommate, where did you buy them? Because I like them and I want some of my own. Oh, Moondust Angel is giving you a way to ask without being a little bit abrasive, okay? Without looking like you suspect something, just ask out of curiosity. Oh, this smells good. This smells real good. Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? Kimmy Hughes said, face it, girl, he's on the move. Kimmy, he's on the move. Actually, not him. The other girl is on the move in. The other girl is on the move in to the apartment. Because if they're comfortable enough to leave their products, they're coming back. That's just my thought. If they're comfortable enough to leave their products and it's got product in it, it ain't empty, they're coming back to use the shower again. They're coming back there to be all up in the mix again. Okay. The person is on the move in. Cheetah's universal answer, I don't know. Just Rhonda said, hey, he don't know. He's like, I'm at work. I don't know who in here. My roommate could have had one of her friends use my bathroom. But who we having come by, shower, and leave products in the bathroom? Who we having it? Hey, Chick-fil-A gal, glad to have you here. Who's coming to use our bathroom and leaving their whole product there? Now, I will say this, and I hope Trey Mack and any of the other gentlemen in here, okay, I hope you don't take offense. Some gentlemen don't be noticing that the products are different from what their girl usually uses. Some gentlemen don't cannot tell you what products their girl uses, so they don't even notice that it's something different. Hey, I said what I said. Some men don't understand and know. He's like, he probably said, I thought that's yours. I didn't know it was something different. Munda Angel said, yep, somebody did it purposefully, especially knowing she will likely see them. She will likely see them because they moved her products to the side. For those of y'all now coming in, thank you. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like and you subscribe to the channel. We're talking about somebody left girly products in her boyfriend's bathroom, moved her stuff to the side. He's like, he don't know. He don't know what it is. But y'all, let's not forget the last part of that. He has stopped being affectionate and intimate with her. Okay? For the past couple months. He stopped with her. Is it that he found a fragrance elsewhere that he likes and that's now kind of moving in subtly and moving her stuff off to the side? He has not been affectionate with her. He's not been intimate with her for a couple months. Girl, that was the timer. That was the timer starting. That was the timer starting on his exit strategy or this person moving in. I wonder if, do you have a key to his place? Do you have a key? Because I'm wondering. Because he has a female roommate. We also don't know the dynamics there. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because she seems comfortable with the roommate, that this is not a roommate with benefits situation. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Moondust Angel said, or he could just be checked out and not even realize that the girl had changed the products around. That wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah, I don't think he gonna notice. You better find out then. Chick-fil-A is like, he better find out. Hey, to go to Africa, thank you so much for being here. She's a side chick, and the side chick is the main chick. So the side chick is becoming main chick. Maybe people are changing their positions, and based on the position of the bathroom products is your position. Maybe we could go with that clue. Okay, maybe we could go that maybe because the position of the bathroom products determines your position. But would we need to find out who the girly products are? He ain't been intimate with you for a couple months. Your stuff is being moved to the side. You clearly being moved out of your position, whatever you thought or think it is. I think it's time to move on because this ain't the place called there for you. I know that some men become less affectionate when they have health issues. They're scared to share with their partner, so it could be that as well. Well, we don't know all that. Moondust Angel don't want us to be messy today, okay? Moondust Angel wants us to think really rationally and really think this through because she does not want us to get him the way Chick-fil-A gal said we should get him. So Moondust Angel is keeping my feet planted on the ground because I was about to go in on him. So maybe he has a health concern, okay? And maybe these girly products are the nurse that was coming to help him with his concern, Moondust Angel, because I need to get a little bit messy. If he ain't working part-time at Bath and Body Works, you have been replaced. Give me either he working part-time at Bath and Body Works or the new lady is, okay? Or the nurse that's coming to help him with his little problem is the one coming in. His mama and sister did it, please. Okay, Trey Mack is coming and stepping up and speaking up for the gentleman. His mother or his sister came by, used the bathroom, and left their products. Now, Trey Mack, because you said that, and we can go down this rabbit hole, have we met the mama? Because if you have not met his mama or his sister or his family, then clearly you're the side chick, okay? If you have not met the potential ladies in his life that could have left that there, then clearly you ain't a priority. Moondust Angel said, I just think he could have an illness that he's afraid to talk to, but also he's being very sneaky and needs to do better. He needs to do better. He definitely needs to do better. He needs to do and talk to about it. But Trey Mack, we're being told you need to take that cap off, okay? Take the cap, take the cape, take whatever it is off. The ladies are not buying it in the chat. Okay? We were not told that he has a mother or sister. We told he had a lady roommate. And we don't know if that lady roommate, like the best friend from a previous episode, remember the best friend told the girlfriend, hey, I've been with your man early on in a relationship to try and get them separated. Maybe the roommate don't like her. And maybe ain't nothing going on, and the roommate just put a few bottles of other products and move her to the side, kind of start a whole fuss and fight so she can move away, so she could get away. I don't know. We can explore all kinds of things. But Mama insisted. Mama ain't coming to his shared apartment to use his bathroom. I'm sorry, Trey Mac. Mama ain't doing that. Maybe his sister, if she's going for a night on the town, and he has an apartment close to the city where she's going. Maybe the sister. I could give that to the sister, but not. Munda Stranger said, if you're comfortable with him having a female roommate, then you need to ask yourself. Okay. Well, we don't know the dynamics. We don't know the dynamics of him having a female roommate. We said that. Trey Mack is hoping for the brother. He is casting a line to save him in this chat because all of us are against him. Hey, Sanders RN, glad to have you here. If you're comfortable with him having a female roommate, then you need to ask yourself why you notice the products and why it bothers you and why are you there? Yeah. Chick-fil-A Gal says, I don't know any nice way to confront this unless I get a clear understanding. Now, I do like the suggestion of asking the roommate about the products. Where did she get them? Just to cipher out if it's someone, close to the roommate. I like that subtle approach that could get him tangled up as well. But he's saying, I don't know. I don't know. And then he's not being affectionate with her even before this incident. She said a couple months now, he ain't been affectionate. So I think he kind of backpedaling. And I think the new girl is moving in while he settle up and move her out. That is my thought. That is my thought. My unsolicited advice is, young lady, you can investigate this all you want. I would tell you, observe. But a couple months of not being affectionate, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to leave. I don't have the wherewithal to be sitting here thinking about whether you with somebody else and I ain't getting my needs met. I'm sorry. I can't be sitting here and you got my anxiety going up. I got to leave for my mental health. Does he have? Well, we're doing a stretch there, Moon Dust Angel. I'm not going to say you are on the health reason that he may not be able to talk to her. I'm not going to give it a stretch because the female products is that somebody's coming through there, okay? And I keep on telling y'all, there are other ways to the promised land, even if he has ED. You just got to find a different route. That's it. So if he does have it, maybe it is a big problem for him or a little problem. We don't know him that well, okay? So I would just say she needs to have a conversation, check with the roommate or investigate it, but I ain't deep enough in it to even want to check behind him and check on this or whatever. I'll watch and observe. It ain't like y'all intimate for the past couple months anyway. So what are you really losing other than a place to stay? Unless that's really it. Felicia H said, yep, I'm leaving too. Whew. So the unsolicited advice is, leave. Moondust Angel wants you to have a conversation with him. Trey said maybe blame it on the mama, okay? Mama or sister. And I'm saying if there is no mama or sister, if there is no other option, then somebody's moving in and marking their territory. Chick-fil-A Gal said, walk away. Thank you, Moon Dust Angel. Yep, I'm trying to get short curls for the summer. It's hot in my side of the world. So let's go on to the next story. Okay, let's go on to the next one. And I'm hoping it gets spicier and spicier as we speak. The next one is concerning, I found my boyfriend on Hinge. Is that cheating? So this is a 25-year-old lady and a 26-year-old male. Said my cousin found his profile and sent me the pictures. At first I thought it was an old profile of him, but the photos seemed kind of new. I confronted him straight. He said he opened the profile while we were dating and were exclusive. For context, we've been dating for 2 years, and I would say we have a pretty serious relationship with ups and downs. He said that it is not cheating. He just opened it to meet new people and make friends. Now, Hinge is not a hookup app. I am not using any dating apps and I'm not sure how they work, but I am not buying his story either. What do you think? Is this cheating? He talked to no one and didn't get matched either. I don't know how to proceed. It has been 5 days and he has asked for forgiveness. Y'all, it is 5 days. He has asked for forgiveness. Hey, K Sharp, glad to have you here. If you ain't do nothing wrong, what you asking for forgiveness for? Okay? If you ain't done nothing wrong, why are we asking for forgiveness? Because clearly you asking because you've sinned, right? Okay? You have sinned. Okay? Chick-fil-A gal says, getting ready to cheat. Yeah, I feel like he is, when people get their workout clothes on and they start stretching before they actually go to the gym to sign up, but he's already signed up, but he hasn't taken a class yet. Okay? That's what he's starting to sound like. Only guilty people ask for forgiveness. Miss Felicia A say, you guilty? Chick-fil-A gal, he only wants forgiveness because he didn't get a match. Boy, bye. Now, I'm asking this, as diabolical as it is it this profile that didn't get a match? Because he may have multiple profiles. Munira said he is lying. Now, is it just this profile? Is this the only one? This is the only one your cousin found and sent you the screenshots. Your cousin found him. So that's my question. What are we doing? What's happening? He could not have found a match on this profile. You said he had recent pictures. Yeah, another case of young lady, you're about to be replaced. Another case of there's someone stepping in. he is putting out a job description for a girlfriend. K Shop says he's asking for forgiveness because he wants her to have empathy towards him. Empathy for what? What's going on in the relationship that he felt he needed a profile? Or he said he was looking for friends. Nobody wanted him online, so he went back to his woman. Felicia H. That is correct. Nobody wanted. He had no matches. Only the one that's matched at home. I don't care how many I'm not aware of. That's why he gets the boy bye. Chick-fil-A gal says that boy bye. I don't know why I put emphasis on that. I don't know your tone, but that's just my tone every time I hear boy bye. Just Rhonda said he is shopping. Yes, he's shopping, but he's out on the market and nobody wants to buy him. Okay, I wonder, he probably liking a whole lot of profiles, but nobody's liking him in return. What's the profile say? I have a question. I wish this post came with the profile description. I don't need his pictures. We don't need to see his pictures, but I would like to see what did he say in his profile, and I would like her red line corrections through it. If he has got a wonderful personality, he loves long walks in the park. What is he putting out there looking for? Friends. And what type of friends are he looking for? Is he looking for? Chick-fil-A gal said right tone. Right tone. Yes, he knows he is wrong to have that app if they are exclusive. Right, that's K-Shop to Munira. He thought he was a 10, but he's actually a 2. Felicia, actually, he's a 0, okay? Because he ain't got no matches. No matches. Moondust Angel said, I have a dating profile up myself, but I rarely ever check it. It now states that I'm with someone, but open to make friends with anyone. If you contact not wanting to be friends, you are blocked. Okay. Chick-fil-A gal said, must have a face only a mother and she loved. Now he done messed that up. Well, I don't need the picture, but I want to know what the profile says. To be honest, I forget I have it most of the time, so people actually looking to be friends also miss out. I hear that, Moondust Angel. Do you all? So my thing is, I'm not sure about the app thing with friends, and I'm saying this as a woman who I met my husband through a dating app. So for me, that type of socializing is for a date and not for making friends. Now, I could be out of the loop like she is, but her female intuition is telling her there is something wrong here. He is this profile and this asking for forgiveness to me is something wrong. K Sharp says, I wonder why men think they are the catch these days. Well, that is a lie for another time, but they think they're a catch because they're told they're a catch. I would never acknowledge anyone on a dating profile looking for friends. Yeah, I need to know what type of friends, okay? Because friends and another word both begin with F, and I need to know what type of friend or what type of, stuff we're going to be doing. Felicia said because women make them think they are Keisha. Yeah, we have stopped running ahead and letting them chase, and we have decided to put our best foot forward. I'm thinking it's best foot. I don't know what it is. What app is it? Oh. If I have to say what app it was, I'd have to disavow any knowledge of your actions. Let's just say my first husband I met in back in the day in a chat room. Okay, he stepped forward, and this husband I met on a how do I put it, on a fishy site, if that will give you any clue of what it was back in the day. And he too approached. I was not approaching anyone. Friends with benefits, exactly. I don't know if he's looking for friends with benefits. What is he looking for? What does the profile say? Because apparently he finds the need to ask for forgiveness. And I'm not sure what he's asking for forgiveness for, since he's not met any friends. If he's saying he's not met any friends throughout this process, and it's a recent profile, I think he's following his exit strategy. You know how they call it now, silent quitting or quiet quitting? I think he's quietly quitting his relationship with her. And he was doing that through a profile. And through the profile, none of the ladies took the bait, and none of the ladies decided to match with him. So now that the cousin found it, gave the evidence to her, and then ran by him, I think he's kind of like, yeah, I need to ask for forgiveness. Trey Max said, never had to be told I'm a catch. I know that I am. I know my worth. That doesn't stop me from pursuing someone who's worth my pursuits. Trey Mac, I understand, and I'm hoping I put the correct tone in what you are saying. I'm glad you think you're a catch. I'm glad you know your worth. And I'm glad that you still are a gentleman that would pursue a lady you're interested in. Mundus Dangerous said, maybe you intend to do something that cannot now because she knows about that. And his guilty conscience is making him ask for forgiveness for something he may not have done. I was raised in Catholic school, and there was something we always say: we ask for forgiveness for our sins in what we have done and in what we have failed to do. And I think he's trying to cover both bases: what I've done and what I failed to do. And what he failed to do was make a match. To Go to Africa said there's a very limited supply of men who like women and are single. Some of us are needier than others. Ooh. Now, is that the men needier or the ladies? And that was just in the back of my mind with that comment. Some ladies are needier. I'm thinking because you're saying the ratio, there may be a need there. Now, y'all, let's get to the next one. My unsolicited advice for this lady: you're being replaced. He's putting out the job applications for folks to apply, and he's looking for a new girlfriend. He is. And if you forgive him now, what else are you going to find? This is just a profile your cousin found and sent it to you. We don't know what else is out there. And I'm not putting it past him that something else may be out there. I think this is a profile that did not make a hit. What pictures did he have in his profile? Just him? And he said his recent profile. So ask him if you want to stay with him. I wouldn't. If you want to stay with him, ask him, well, let's delete this profile. Let's delete this profile. and see his reaction. And let's delete all the profiles and let's block any kind of dating app. To go to Africa says men get more attention because there is a limited supply. I can see that there is a limited supply. But I'm not giving you all my attention. I'm sorry. I like to play coy, hard to get. I like to play games too much. And that may be my problem, but I'm not in the dating world. And I have to say, one of my family members said, "Ooh, it is so wonderful you are not in the dating world because I am unserious when I am dating. Totally unserious. Y'all take that as you will." So let's go to the next one. If you have any other unsolicited advice for this young lady, please leave it in the comments. Let's get to the next one. Okay, this is a boyfriend, ex. Yeah. So this is she's a 26-year-old female and a 31-year-old male, that the boyfriend wants to sleep with her, but needs time to think about getting back together. Do I wait or move on? We were together for 6 months. Okay? We were together for 6 months. I would text his roommate to let him know that I'd come to the house. The roommate asked me to do so, so he would know that he wasn't alone. Anyway, we broke up because he said he didn't trust me because I texted his best friend and roommate. There was no flirting or anything, so I don't really understand. But anyway, today he stopped by to drop off the rest of my stuff that I left at his house. He said he wanted to talk, and we went for a ride. We kissed, and he said he just needs time to forget about me texting his roommate. Now, later in the day, I received multiple texts about how he wants to do the dirty, but that's it. He still needs time to think about getting back in the relationship. As a side note, when we broke up, he had me come over the weekend following that and made it seem we were getting back together. So, yes, we slept together. Then he kicked me out and said he could not forgive me. I ended up driving at 1 o'clock in the morning, an hour back later to go home. I hate driving in the dark, bawling my eyes out. My question is, I guess, does he actually want to get back together or just sleep with me? I feel torn because I love him so much. I would do literally anything for him. Do I move or wait for him? He means everything to me, but I don't want to wait for him to just lead me on. Girl, girl, girl. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Girl. Munda Angel says some people also don't know what they want. If you're overly affectionate, you seem clingy. However, if you're not affectionate enough, they don't want them. Yes. He sounds very insecure. He didn't even ask why the girl texted his roommate in the first place before going off. You don't need a man like that in your life. Exes are exes for a reason. Leave him alone. Girl, are you serious? What are you drinking? Leave and don't look back. You put me out at 1 o'clock in the morning after we done did the nasty, and you kicked me out at 1 a.m. after you done got what you needed? Oh, you ain't never gonna hear from me again. Unless I want to flip the script. Unless I want to flip the script on you. He said exactly what he wanted, not leading her on. Hey, Jackson Tabasco. Father. I agree with Kimmy Who. He just wanted you for intimacy every now and then, but he don't want the relationship. Yeah, he don't want it. Sandra said, never ever hear or see me again. So Trey Mack is asking, okay, remember Trey Mack is always digs deeper than the story allows, which we love around here. How did she even have the roommate's number? It is sus, sus, sus. Maybe I'm tripping though. Just stay gone, Miss Lady. Okay, how did she get the number? We're going to explore that. Young man has trust issues and has a lot of insecurities. Plus, what decent man puts a woman out at 1 a.m.? Girl, run from that zero. If she's not sure about his actions, she may need therapy to understand why it's not okay to be with someone like that. Never feel afraid to put yourself first. So, how did she get the roommate's number? That's what Trey Mack is saying. Because they've been together for only 6 months. Okay? She said, like, I would text his roommate to let him know when I'd come by the house. The roommate asked me to do that so he would know when he wasn't alone. The roommate wanted to know when his roommate wasn't alone. Why can't he ask man to man? Why does the roommate need to hear from you, young lady, as to you coming over? I'm with Trey Mack. That sounds suspect. That sounds suspect. Young guy has trust issues and has a lot of insecurities, but oh, I did read that. Oh, yeah. I just don't understand why at 6 months I need to have the roommate's number. Maybe I misunderstand. What was she texting the roommate to let him know I'm coming over? You may not want to leave in case me and my boyfriend are nosy. You may want to leave. I think so. Some people have a, let the roommate know I have company. If I'm going to tell my age here, some people put a sock or tie on the door handle so the roommate know I have a guest. But why does a roommate need to know? Okay. Why does the roommate need to know you're coming over? Is he taking a calendar? Is there a roster? Is he keeping his roommate's schedule as to what lady's coming by? It's been 6 months. Why does the roommate need to know? Trey Mack says, the more I think about it, the more I know that she is leaving out parts to this story. Yes, she is, because it's only been 6 months. Did he meet her through the roommate? We don't know. We don't know how they met. It's been 6 months and she's letting the roommate know that she's coming over. And I wonder if the roommate just is like, maybe the roommate doesn't want to be alone with his roommate's girl. Don't come over unless your man is there. But that doesn't mean the roommate needs to be involved in the arrangements at all. Maybe the roommate needs to know so he can leave so he isn't disturbed by them being loud. Yes, maybe. But that's roommate to roommate. Why does the 6 month, relationship, friends, whatever she is to this other guy, why does the roommate need to know from her? Why doesn't the actual roommate tell his roommate, hey, my girl's coming over. I'm gonna need you to vacate. Hey, yo, I'm gonna need the apartment to myself because my girl's coming over. Why does she need to contact the roommate to say she's coming over? Are we planning a surprise? Are we decorating the apartment for your boyfriend? Well, she didn't say boyfriend. The boyfriend's birthday. Why are we involving the roommate in this? The boyfriend may have a reason to flip out. Also, she needs to relax and not be quite so serious. It hasn't been even a year yet. Yeah, it's been 6 months. We're a little stage 5 clinger for 6 months. It's a little stage 5 clinger for 6 months. But what we not gonna do is forgive the boyfriend. The boyfriend thinks she was doing something wrong, texting the roommate, and he's mad. But young man, and I fear to say young man, because she's 26 and this person is 31. Okay, 30. I'm not gonna go after him. 31-year-old male with a roommate. Not gonna go after him, and his roommate is 27, which is closer to her age. Okay, I'm not gonna dig into him being 31 with a roommate who is 27. I'm not gonna do that because I didn't dig into the other man for having a female roommate. Okay. But he broke up with her, all over her, all of a sudden kick her out at 1 o'clock in the morning for her to drive back home, and it takes an hour to get home. That to me is terrible. I think she was waiting for her time to be with the roommate. She might be the manipulator in the situation. Oh, K Sharp is flipping it on us. K Sharp is saying, hey, she was biding her time for that roommate. Decent man. Still feels okay about himself afterwards. That is disgusting behavior and should be shunned at all costs. What would his mother say? I don't know. He's 31. Does his mother have influence in anything in his life about this time? But I understand. I would say some serious things to my son. definitely even at 31. Tremack said, now that makes sense. If she met him through the roommate, then the real question is how or what did the roommate tell his boy about her? She just a hookup chick, bro? Do what you do. Maybe that's what he told the roommate situation. But again, 31, 27-year-old roommate, I've never heard of that. A 26-year-old girlfriend, but it's 6 months in. Is it girlfriend? We didn't say we exclusive, but he's flipping out because you texted the roommate. Is this the first text? Is this the fifth text? Have you had other communications that he wasn't happy that you went to his roommate? See, roommate to me, it should be for emergency situations only. Emergency or birthday surprise only. I don't think you should be regularly texting the roommate, but I don't think he should be flipping out. Was he looking for a reason to get rid of her? Did he say they were exclusive or not? Because that matters. Sometimes men don't tell a woman they're exclusive and a woman assumes they are. Moon Dust Angel, a lot of times, unless you have the conversation, assume you are not exclusive. Unless you say the actual word exclusive, then you are not exclusive. Now, you may be personally exclusive to this person, but that does not mean you're in an exclusive relationship. I am tired of seeing too many times, as Moon Dust Angel said, the woman assuming they're in an exclusive relationship with this man, and they have said nothing about that. Well, he takes me to see his family. I know his friends. I know everything. No, unless we say the word, we ain't there. Moon Dust Angel, no decent man would do that to a lady, but unfortunately, even a decent man would treat a lady of the night that way. I'm not going to ask you, Trey Mack, the rules of how to treat a lady of the night. I will leave that right there. Okay, I will leave that right there, Trey Mack. If y'all wish to ask Trey Mack, you can certainly put it in the comments. You can put it in the comments. So, my unsolicited advice is, young lady, y'all ain't together. It's 6 months. Use this as a teachable moment. I'm sure there were signs, and I'm sure you will not be contacting anybody's roommate apart from emergency situations in the future. But use this as a teachable moment. He broke up with you, but he still wants access to you. Now, are you going to give him access, or are you going to, you know, dust it off, drive through the night, the 1 hour it takes home, and are you going to learn from this and not be in this position again? Because if I hear you in this position again, I'll be sorely disappointed. This is teachable. You are 27 years old. Don't let this man continue to use you and gain access to you. He is not worth it. This is not worth it at all. So y'all, please leave your unsolicited advice for her, okay? Some people think that she may be the manipulator in this situation. Why is she talking to the roommate in any regard? And some folks think that, he has no way, is he a gentleman? He has no right to be putting her out at 1 a.m. after using her, and just tossing her aside. Mundus Angel says, take this as a lesson learned and find someone better. It's been 6 months. You don't need to act like it. You don't need to act like it all over. You can find someone better and should. K Sharp said, Lady of the Night would need to leave at dawn. It is daylight and a good day. Just saying. Yes, Trey Mack, I know the reference. You don't pay a garden tool to stay. You pay them to leave. And you pay them to keep quiet too. If you're not my lady and just a hookup, then you leave, period. But you see, that's the fact that Moon Dust Angel, we're talking about lost in translation. Does she know that she has been demoted? Does she know she has been demoted? Okay? Because clearly he had to put her out at 1 a.m. Does she know her status in 6 months has been demoted because they broke up? Why are you contacting him? Why are you talking to him? You broke up. Why are you allowing him to have access? You broke up. He has just demoted her. She has been demoted in his eyes. Just leave him alone and keep it pushing. I would not entertain him. I would not block everything of mine. I would have and leave. It is 6 months. It ain't that serious. Okay? I've had shoes longer than the relationship you've had with him. So let's move on to the next one. As I said, we get spicier and spicier. Okay. Ooh, this one is a little bit of spice. Just a little bit more spice. So I'm 33, concerned about my girlfriend's response about additional, and I'm going to say it like this, rubbers in her dresser. I was looking for my extra house key that is kept in the same part of my girlfriend's dresser as our protection. Okay, it's a C word, that's protection. And stumbled across a bunch of protection that I definitely didn't purchase or recognize. It's a different brand and lubrication style. I asked her about these specific protection since I was curious if she bought new ones for us. She immediately got defensive, and I said that I probably bought them but forgot, and that she hasn't bought protection in years. Obviously, this is a concerning response due to the defensiveness, especially since I am positive that I didn't buy them. We don't really use protection that often, but we have a handful of them just in case. We have not been as intimate as usual for the past few months. We've been together for 3 years, which is making me even more concerned about the defensive response to the unfamiliar and new protection. I'm planning on bringing it back up when I see her tomorrow night, since this is really bothering me, but wanted to see if any of you had some advice. Mm-mm-mm. What are you doing inside? What are keys doing inside a dresser? You were sneaking around. That's the spare key. I don't know why the spare key is inside the dresser. He was either sneaking or snooping. Okay, what dresser was it in? I don't have spare keys in the dresser. I ain't gonna tell y'all where I have my spare keys. But my spare keys for the house, for the cars, they're in a position in the house, in the living room, but it ain't in no dresser. Why are the spare keys out of all that Sanders RN heard? Why are the spare keys in the dresser? All the way upstairs. I'm just assuming it's upstairs, downstairs. Trimax said, "Oh boy, she's in the streets, bro. At least she's being safe about it. Get out, buddy. No need to speak anymore." Moon Dust Angel is, "I think a woman should also have her own protection so that my man cannot say we need to be intimate without it because he doesn't have any. This woman clearly bought it and was being sneaky. You always find what you are not looking for, Kimmy Who. Exactly. He wasn't looking for additional protection. He was looking for them keys." Glad you're having a little chuckle, Jackson Tabasco. I hope this is the kind of spice you were looking for. We do have one story after this. Sanders RN said she's cheating. She knew it before she went looking. You knew it before you went looking. Yeah, she's cheating. If this is not your brand, you know what he didn't say? Is this your size, sir? Is it the size of the protection that you saw that is more of a concern than the fact there's a protection? I'm kind of hearing that. He didn't say it, but I'm hearing size envy. Okay? Because if it was just a different brand, it could be like, "Oh, honey, we want to try something different." But I'm hearing it may not be even the size that he uses. But that's just my mind going there. Feel as women, we need to keep it safe. When we are being intimate, so should men. Yes. Snoopy was snooping. Whoever put them there can't be too smart or had a motive for putting them there. Could have found a better place to put them. Okay, so it's just like the girly bathroom products on the previous story we talked about. Somebody is marking their territory and say, "Haha, I'm gonna put these," and I'm still thinking it's a different size because I don't think if it was of his size, it would matter the brand unless he has allergies. Okay. Tremac says, "I keep spare keys in my dresser. I use my top drawer as jewelry, watch cases, displays, plus stick Tremac, we don't need to know what's in the top drawer. Okay. Thank you for letting us know. But I guess some people do keep the keys in the dresser. So we will park that aside, Sanders. Okay. Trey Mack is saying, hey, the spare key can be in the top of the dresser with the watches and the jewelry and other knickknacks. I don't do that because people usually have spare keys in the dresser. I don't have it there. But here's the thing. Why was the brand such a concern? Why is it? She bought some. Why is it a concern too, since you say sometimes y'all don't use protection? Why are we not using protection, sir? That's what I'd like to know. Y'all been together 2 years. Are y'all in a committed relationship? I didn't hear that we are in an exclusive committed relationship. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part. Hey, Jay Blake, glad to have you here. We are talking about he went looking for his spare keys in the top drawer, and he found a different brand of protection that he did not buy. Okay? That he did not buy. So he asked her, and she's defensive about that. Very defensive. Munda Stranger said we should be more concerned about what is in his bottom drawer. Okay? What's in the bottom drawer? We don't need you to tell us what's in your bottom drawer, Trey. We need to know about this man. What does he have? Okay? Okay? What does he have? So she was defensive. They've been together for 3 years. They don't use protection all the time. We just use it in a handful of cases. What's the handful? When do we use them? Why is it a handful? What is the criteria for those handful of cases? Okay? Now, is it that why would you even notice it then? Are you counting the numbers in the box? I don't even know how many come in the box anymore. Munda Stage Up My Night Clothes and Fun Time Wear. Trey, we did not need that. We did not need to know. If you don't want someone to find them, you should put them in a safer place. Did you put them there and want to start something by blaming her? Now, I could see that to go to Africa. I could see that he saw it the other day and then pretended like he needed the spare key in order to be able to bring up the conversation. But sir, let's rewind it. Why do we need the spare key? Why do we need the spare key? What happened to your original key? How did you lose the original key to have to go looking for the spare? Jackson Tabasco said, I wouldn't be surprised if he put them there. I was trying to start something as an excuse to leave the relationship. He could have. He's the one bringing it to us. Why is she storing another man's protection? Now, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's also the wrong size. That's how he noticed it. Because if it's usually the same brand, even if it's the same size, it'll be like, oh, she just put some there for whenever we need it. Maybe she want to try something new, and she, brought a fresh batch. I'm thinking it's a wrong size too. But sir, why do we need the spare key? Did you lose the original key by your other woman? Did you lose the original key by your other woman? Because that's where my head is at. It's not the key in the top drawer. Where is the original key? Where did you lose it? Did you get pickpocket on the subway on your way home? Where is the original key? If I was her, I would turn it back like, okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where's the original key? Whose house did you lose that key at? Because clearly you lost the key. Sanders RN said he was stupid and knew girl was cheating prior to looking. Could be. She's a dumb cheater. Stop cheating. Swiper, stop swiping. That's all I heard when I read that. What y'all ain't following me with the key. Y'all are saying she's dumb cheater and all that stuff. I'm thinking he's deflecting. I'm thinking he saw it. He thought, okay, it's a new brand. We could try this. But I'm thinking, since size matters to many of us, since size matters, I think he noticed the size is different. The size is not of his size. And that's what got him all messed up. Okay? I think that's what got him all messed up because it's the wrong side. Love your decor. Thank you. Thank you for loving the decor. It's a family. The family put it together. Do you film at home? Yes. What do your kids think of your channel? Just curious My kids can care less. The oldest one cares. He thinks it's hilarious, but my younger one, who's 18, he's like, yeah, whatever. Why don't you watch this other show that I'm watching? He couldn't kill us. He knows where to put his stash, is where Jay Blake is. Yeah, I think his stash is where his original key is. And I'm not going to let him off the hook with that. Yes, she is. If she's the one who bought it and put it there, now it could be the other gentleman caller that she has, that he put it there. Just like the other one put the girly products in the bathroom so his girlfriend can find. I think her next man put his different size protection in the same drawer, knowing you're going to find it and knowing you will self eliminate, and then he could just move right on in. I didn't hear exclusive. I heard y'all were together for a few years. I'm guessing. Guess that's exclusive. But if I don't hear that, I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. So I'm thinking he is running in the streets himself. And because he's running in the streets, he said they ain't been together for a few months. Because he's running in the streets, he left room for someone to be running between her sheets. So you see how that happens. You out there losing your key, and now here someone is coming in here using the protection. Jay Blake says, wait, I came in late. Do they live together? We're assuming they live together. That's the assumption. He didn't say specifically that they live together, but that is exactly what we're thinking. Okay? That the dresser had all the knickknacks. Remember, Trey Mack said it had all the knickknacks. This guy says, you know, they also keep the protection in that top drawer. And he stumbled across a bunch of protection that he did not purchase or recognize. Different brand, different lubricant style. I think different size too. Okay, I think it was different size. I don't think a different brand or style is going to perk up this kind of interest. They've been together for 3 years, and he's more concerned with her defensive response. And they have not been intimate as usual for a past few months. So again, I think she's out there looking for a replacement, looking for his replacement, or at least conducting interviews. Okay, there's nothing wrong with interviews unless they're in an exclusive relationship. At least he ain't said fiance. So what is your unsolicited advice for this gentleman? Okay. Jay Blake said, I stand by my statement. She's a dumb cheater and cray-cray. I guess she is cray-cray. What is your unsolicited advice? Please leave it in the comments. Let us know, what do you think he should do? I'm more concerned with, where's your key, sir? Yeah, and I need to know. This is where I need visuals. What is the pack that you're used to, and what is the pack that is there now? I would like to see the compare and comparison, because I think it's a size issue as well. But yeah, if you're finding this, what you could have done was keep your mouth shut. Was it a full box? You didn't tell us if it was a full box, unopened box, and you didn't even see. I would do a countdown. Is the box closed now? Then a week later it's open, and 2 or 3 are used, and you know she ain't using with you? See, that's the kind of investigative stuff you should be doing before you do a confrontation, because now you have evidence. You already ain't been intimate for the past few months, you said, so you could sit back and watch. You could observe and take notes. To go to Africa said, I cannot understand why she would do this at her home. I don't understand that either. And leave it in the top drawer you know he's going to go into. See, as someone said, you should be concerned with the bottom drawer. That's what should be in the bottom drawer. Leave her alone. She's doing the most. Leave her alone. She is doing the most. Y'all, I will get to the last one. Okay, this is usually the spiciest of them all. Usually it's the spiciest of them all. Because this lady, this 30-year-old lady says intimacy with her new partner, a 30-year-old male, is not great. Did y'all hear that? The intimacy with her new partner is not great. I, a 30-year-old female, recently started dating a guy who is also 30. We've been together 4 months so far, and he's asked me to be his girlfriend. y'all, is this exclusive? Are we hearing exclusive talk, or is she making this up? Let's read on. Everything was great apart from the intimacy. From day one, it's felt off in the sense that it feels almost transactional. For starters, he's never made me have the big O. He hasn't even tried, even in the first month or so. He said he wants me to finish more, but since then, nothing has happened or changed. When intimacy finishes, he is finished. Okay? The intimacy is very routine, unless I do something different or encourage new stuff. He is not very spontaneous, and it's almost like intimacy isn't lovemaking. It's more like it's getting it done, if that makes sense. He seems very lazy in bed, much prefers me doing everything. It makes him sound like a selfish lover, but outside of intimacy, he's a very caring and considerate. So this just wouldn't make sense. I feel like he's not had much experience in building a strong, intimate relationship. There is no getting to know what each of us likes or exploring stuff. I don't know what to do, and I don't want to come across as nagging or demanding because that's only going to make things worse. As it is still early on, I still think things can improve and change. I've not had this before, so not really sure what to do. I know communication is key, but where do you even start with this? They're both 30. They're both 30. Jackson Tabasco said, "Oh, that's me. Get it over with already." No, not get it over with already. It sounds like The Color Purple. It sounds like Miss Celia, The Color Purple. Just Rhonda said, "Cut your losses. It's not gonna get any better. Not gonna get any better." Well, we can treat this like the job. Let's have conversation. Then we can have an oral warning, performance review, a corrective action plan. We could treat this as a road to redemption. To go to Africa said that's her fault. She should have stopped being with him if he didn't try to satisfy her after the first couple of times. I said what I said. Glad to have you here. Things that make you say, Yeah, well, that's what she's trying to get is the She's trying to actually go for the O, but he ain't taking her there. Maybe you need to introduce him to other forms of intimacy which don't go the full way. So maybe he can learn to be more attentive in bed. It sounds like he needs to learn things to improve. I can understand that. My other caveat is he willing to learn? Is he willing to learn? Is he willing to learn what's going on and how to please you? Because obviously, she doesn't say he's pleasing himself. She's just saying he finishes. Is he getting pleasure out of this? Because that's another question. Every man can learn new techniques, but if he's unwilling, he needs to be told to get a toy and a life because you need a man who can actually satisfy you, not one who thinks solely of his own pleasure. Now that's why I'm thinking, going back, is he deriving pleasure? She's saying is robotic, more like, he's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony, unfortunately. And he gets his, it's kind of like Bernie Mac. He said it's 50 push-ups. Get yours, because I'm going to get mine. He sounded like Bernie Mac. If you all know Bernie Mac, who's a comedian, rest his soul, that's what it sounded like. Also, if you don't communicate things with others, they cannot guess how we feel. We need to sit down at the kitchen table and have honest conversation, chance about where this relationship is going. Trey Mack said he could be inexperienced in the actual physical acts of coupling, or he's not feeling her like that. Could be, if he's worth being in a relationship with, she needs to discuss it and work on it. Yes, she said everything is great except this. He's attentive. He does all these things except get her to the promised land. And you could work on it. The thing is, he has to be open to working on it. So I'm going to be, if he's not, then you need to go. If he is, then there's a path forward. But also, I blame previous partners. I'm not going to say I'm going to leave you better off than when I found you, but previous partners certainly can, tell their displeasure. So he's not going out here thinking he is Don Juan with a magic wand, okay? I'm not saying he probably has this one technique that has worked previously with everybody, and so he decided, well, why change it? Why change it now? So he's doing this because he feels like it's something that those in a relationship have to do, or he's doing it because it's what he wants to do. That is the question. Yes, does he want to do it, or is it just because of the relationship? I agree. Maybe he doesn't know any better. We're adults. Speak your mind. Make a PowerPoint presentation if you have to. See, I ain't going to the PowerPoint now. I will give you a pictogram. Okay, we gonna do a pictogram, but I ain't doing a whole PowerPoint. I said, not the promised land. Girl, I always say the promised land. There are many routes to the promised land. He just only know his route. And getting her to the promised land is no longer part of his repertoire. Okay? So all I say is the promised land is the most effective way for me to say it on YouTube without getting somebody knocking on my door saying, hey, you shouldn't really be saying that. So yes, he needs to learn different ways to get her to the promised land and just figure it out. He needs to take on he needs to be Moses. He needs to, put on that robe and handle that staff and get her to the promised land. Okay? I couldn't be happy with him and make him happy if he can't make me happy. Right. He got to be happy. You got to be happy so we all could be happy. If we don't communicate how someone can help us reach the promised land, then what do we expect? Exactly. We have to tell people. He's not going to know. He doesn't know the roadmap. He doesn't know how to please her. So she has to communicate and tell him. But he also has to be open to learning and knowing. And if he's not open, that's not going to be taken very well. But this is fixable if he is open to learning. As I said, you can treat this like a job. Hey, let's talk. Let's have a corrective action plan. Let's talk about it. Let's, be about it. Let us work on this. There are exercises you could do. There are therapists you can go see to get this worked on. Maybe she can get him some corn and show him some things that will please her. Now that's a slippery slope because we don't know how he's going to respond to corn, okay? Because corn could either take him on a bridge too far or it could be helpful. So they do have to talk about that. Maybe he is getting his technique from corn and that's what's not satisfying. Because definitely she ain't the actress in corn that's supposed to make you feel like you're doing something. So what I said, if he's 30-something, he may not know what to do. This is fixable. They just need to communicate or watch some corn together. So to go to Africa, and I said what I said, have the same suggestion. Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to probably watch some corn together and figure out what needs to be done, but it is definitely fixable. I think we all think it's fixable. So many women make the mistake of thinking that a man can guess how we feel without them needing to tell him, and then we get annoyed when he doesn't know. This is silly. We need to do better. Yes, we need to do better. And that's why I blame his previous partners. They should have told him this ain't it. This ain't it. I'm not saying they should totally teach him, but they should have said, this ain't it. And the way he's not being receptive at first to change up, that he's sticking to the, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever his process is telling me he didn't have to learn anything from somebody previously. Tremax says, I get it. She wants to see the land of milk and honey, and he is her Moses. But Moses was permitted to see the land, never enter. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Yes, he was, but that's because Moses was over enthusiastic. He hit the rock twice instead of the one time he was told. So Moses didn't listen. Okay, and that's what's going to happen to this young man. If he doesn't listen, then she gonna go off to the promised land and leave him behind. So we can use that analogy all the way. So yes, Tremac, this is the best way I can bring you all the spicy stories and talk about it without YouTube coming for the channel. That is the best way we can infer it. And y'all who have seen me in these YouTube streets, y'all know I love a good innuendo. Y'all know I love to twist some words and change stuff up. So y'all, that was the last one. I thank y'all so much. What is your unsolicited advice for this young lady? I think for both of them, they need to talk. As y'all have said in the comments, they need to really come up with a plan. And I'm hoping that he is receptive to that, because y'all in your 30s, y'all may be heading to the altar, y'all may be heading into the future together. And certainly, intimacy is a big part of a relationship. To go to Africa says a bridge too far may be better than not trying to get to the bridge at all. They can always get off if there's not a good experience. Now, this young lady also needs to see if, since there are many roads to the promised land, if while he is learning, she may need to get herself to the promised land. Okay? She may need to get herself there. And I'm hoping he is okay with her utilizing the toys and other apparatus out there. Please leave the corn out of your relationship if you don't want to set unrealistic expectations. Yeah, I hope he ain't expecting her to behave like a corn, participant, because it may give him and even her some unrealistic expectation, because I'm not sure he is truly blessed like the folks in corn. And there may be disappointment all the way around if it's corn. But some people, I have to say, Jay Blake, some people do utilize it as a teaching tool, and it can be used as such rather than for entertainment. So I will leave that there. Y'all, please put your unsolicited advice in the comments. We always like to hear from you who are watching this on replay. Make sure you like, you share, you subscribe to the channel. The channel is growing, and I just can't grow without you. And I appreciate everyone who has come through this afternoon. I took the day off and I said, let me see what the response is going to be if I come on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, Jackson Tabasco, glad I made it my way over here. This was fun. We do this is 10 times the fun. You see, this is the 10th time we've done this. I hope you go back and do that. She has a lot of varieties to choose from. Yes, she does. They need Dr. Ruth. They do. I said what I said. Good thing you said that. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who had, she needed some unsolicited advice. And she had told me I should try and be, the non-Dr. Ruth, because I don't have a doctorate, but the non-Dr. Ruth for here. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Jay Blake. And to all of you who have been here, if I have not said hello to you, I'm so glad you are here. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. And I have a different outro, and I hope y'all will stay for that. And I will see you on the next